You're ready for this?
Yo, who's the daddy? Easy guys, Dom here from Cringy Dad Gaming. So in this video we'll be taking a look at my graphics settings that I'm using currently in Watch Dogs Legion on PC. Now I do have a relatively decent PC. It's not the best, but it's not the worst, and I'm going to put my specs in the description so you know what I'm running. After tinkering around a little bit trying to get that magic 60 frames per second, I've managed to get to where I need it to be. We start with geometry at ultra, environment at ultra, texture resolution at ultra, but do note that texture resolution does have the biggest VRAM usage in terms of, you know, the highest to the lowest settings. Notice as you go down from ultra to medium to low, there's a significant VRAM usage decrease. However, I didn't find that actually made any difference to my frames per second. Texture filtering at ultra, shadows at medium. Now you can probably get away with pushing that up a little bit, but at medium tends to be a better setting in terms of frames per second. Highlight shadows from the headlights of vehicles didn't really have much impact on the VRAM, and reflections we can get away with ultra, again a very small change in the frames per second on that. Ambient occlusion you can have on, didn't really make much difference again on the overall performance. Biggest thing that I found had a massive performance spike was the ray tracing. Now I have got an RTX card, a 2070, but it has a massive impact on your VRAM and it will halve your frames per second. Another thing to stay away from is this deep learning super sampling, the DLSS. When I first had that on, it did really give some horrible artifacts within the actual game itself. I am running a 2K monitor, VSync off to get those extra frames per second with monitor refresh rate set to auto. So I found this to be optimal for my system. It gave me a good mix of frame rate and graphics. I'm averaging around 60 frames per second, running it like this. Now, the reflections still look pretty good in the game, even without the ray tracing. Now, I could turn on the ray tracing, so for those of you who have got it, then you may find by turning the ray tracing on, the medium up to ultra didn't have much impact on the VRAM in terms of their difference. However, overall, whichever one you choose, medium or high or ultra, it will reduce the frame rate down to around 30 frames per second. So it's half in my frames per second. Yes, everything looks extra shiny and looks very, very nice, but it just depends on if you can play the game at a 30 frame per second frame rate in terms of getting those extra reflections. Things will look nicer in windows. You will actually get the detailed reflections of vehicles in puddles and windows and mirrors, and you can see the extra shine on the top of the post box there at the side of the road. So yes, everything does look nice and shiny with ray tracing. However, I personally prefer to have it off. As you will see here now, when I switch it off, you will get a much smoother frame rate, and the reflections in the game without it still don't actually look that bad. The puddles and everything are still pretty good. The reflections of vehicles and cars are still okay. So if this has helped you guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you have got any questions about the settings for graphics, then don't forget to pop them in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on another video. Thanks for watching.
You're ready for this?
Yo, who's the daddy?